Hello class and welcome to our second lecture series on managerial accounting, and I'm your instructor Dr. Jamal, and today is our second lecture. So I already uploaded the links and all those chapters and PPTs on both platform, Blackboard and YouTube. Today we are starting chapter number 2, which is managerial accounting and cost concepts. Our first learning objective is identify and give examples of each of the 3 basic manufacturing cost categories. So remember, this chapter is all about categorizing the costs. So let's just talk about the first, which is managerial cost. Okay? Sorry, which is manufacturing cost. So manufacturing cost consists of 3 categories or 3 subcategories. Number 1, direct material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead. Right? So some students confuse manufacturing cost with manufacturing overhead because they just focus on manufacturing here and manufacturing here. No. Manufacturing cost consists of 3 costs: direct material cost, direct labor cost, and manufacturing overhead. So let's just talk about the direct material. So you see here, we have a product here, which is the car. So in this case, what is the manufacturing cost? Number 1, direct material. So whenever the word direct you see here in any cost, it means that cost you can easily calculate. You don't have to go through extensive mathematical calculation. It's just easy, right? The key point is conveniently and or easily traced. So direct material cost is that cost which consists of all the material which are the integral part of the product, and you can easily trace that cost. Right? A bookish definition is raw material that becomes an integral part of product and that can be conveniently traced directly to it. So if you see here, the example is a radio installed in an automobile. You can easily calculate its cost, right? You are installing Sony company's radio in the car, and you know that the per unit radio cost of the Sony company is how much. That's it. The cover here is also raw material, right? You know how much kilograms or how much, in how much tons of steel gonna need, right? Similarly, the cost of tires, easily traceable, right? 4 tires are needed. Okay, you are installing, Michelin or something, other car, EMZ car, EMZ tire or something, easily traceable. Alloy rim, easily traceable. Lights, headlights, right? Steering, leather seats, windshield, right? Back shield and the side mirrors and other stuff, because it's easily you can trace out. That's it, right? So direct material cost is that cost which you can easily trace to the product. Can you give any other example? Subhan.
I would say like the battery and phone.
Battery and Samsung. Guys, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Subhan, any other example?
For like Tesla cars or anything.
Ali, well done. Tesla car batteries, yes, okay. Any other example besides this car industry? Any other example of Junpyu? Speak loud.
Speaker and a TV.
The
Speaker in the TV. I think my microphone is not working.
I think your voice is quality is so poor we couldn't understand.
He said speaker in the TV.
Oh yeah, okay. Speaker in the TV. Good. Anis,
Concrete when you're building a house.
well done. Subhan,
Can we say buildings
in what?
in, I don't know, irons?
Building is a product,
Yeah,
right? So what is the direct material inside? The bricks, cement,
yeah, bricks.
steel, right? Fans, windows, doors. You can easily trace how much wood is needed for one door and then all those stuff, right? Lock. You can easily find out. So in case of, if we made a little bit more complex situation here, so what is the direct material cost in clothing? The cost of clothes, right? The cost of the buttons, because only 3 buttons or 4 buttons are used, or 6 buttons are used in a coat. For fancy buttons, you can easily find out, right? Direct labor cost. Since the word direct is used here, so all the costs that we use to convert raw material into finished goods or the product, right? But that cost, which we can easily trace. So in this case, when the product is car, what is the direct labor cost? Wages paid to automobile assembly workers. And how you can easily trace that? It's simple. You know that the car is coming to one section and it is operated by 2 people. One is installing tires, another is installing the lights, right? So this car stands here for 30 minutes and then move to the next section. So it means on one car, these 2 workers spend 30 minutes, right? So their per hour salary is, for example, $10. So it means $5 they are spending on each car, half an hour. Right, Subhan, Junpyo, Anis, Ali? You can easily
Yep.
treat, right? So the direct labor cost, those labor costs that can be easily traced to individual units of product, we call this direct labor costs. Any other example? So in this case of like cloth making, stitching costs. So you know that, okay, a tailor needs, for example, 2 hours to make this, or there are 3 levels of tailors: one who cut the coat, and one who sew the coat, and one who press the coat. You can categorize in 3 activities. So one who cut the coat into different styles and all the stuff, he needs, for example, half an hour. The one who stitch, he needs an hour, and the one who press it, he needs 20 minutes. So total is like 3 to 4 hours to make one suit. That's it, right? So you can easily trace that one, right? In the case of building, the cost of mason people or laborers, right? In the case of for example, Coca-Cola industry, those who are filling the bottles, or those who are making the bottles, although all the system is now automatic, but still we need laborers, right, in the production process. So if we can easily allocate how much time spent on one product, because in Coca-Cola industry, in 1 minute there are thousands of bottles are made, right? So it's really hard to calculate how much time is allocated for one bottle. The harder it is, the lesser it becomes direct labor cost. Right, guys? And now manufacturing overhead. So manufacturing overhead is that cost which you cannot easily trace. in both respect, either material or either labor. If that labor, which you cannot associate its cost to only one product, it's going to be hard. You need mathematical calculation and all that stuff, and it's becoming, quite hectic. Then you can say that this is indirect cost. Similarly, indirect material as well. So in case of indirect material, we know that direct material is this cloth, but indirect material is thread. So how much thread is going to be used here? It's quite hectic, yeah, right? You need to make, measurement of the thread that is you're going to use, and you wrap it up, and then you measure it, the per unit cost of one, reel on which, thread is being wrapped up. So it's going to be very hard. So you calculated that, okay, one thread reel total bundle is like $10. So, okay, how much thread is used? We don't know. We just have to make some kind of calculation. Okay, half a reel is like that. So it's going to be quite, annoying and not easily traceable, right? So in that case, we can say that this is indirect material. Similarly, from indirect material, supplies like lubricants, because lubricants are coming in terms of like 10 kgs bag, and you are just oiling, the lubricants for like tires and all the stuff, the brakes and all. So it's going to be very hard to find out how much lubricant you applied for one product and how much lubricant you applied for another product. Although there are mathematical geniuses, mathematics genius over there, so you can find out, but it's going to be very hard. You have to pay extra money. Similarly, in case of indirect labor, like supervisor salary, like maintenance workers, like security guards. So how much time spent on one product of the security guard? Security guard is outside the production facility and he's just guarding the stock, and that's it. So how much time he spent on